So when selling in today's market, an appraisal gap can happen, and how you handle that can make or break your sale. I'm going to explain 3 key points of how a smart seller should handle this, so stay tuned to the end of the video. So welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Rich. I'm your local Maryland, Delaware realtor. And if you need to reach out for any reason, my contact information is going to be down below. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. So let me start first by explaining what an appraisal gap is. So when you're selling a property or buying, most likely you're going to have an appraisal done, whether you're financing or paying cash. So quick example, let's just say, a property, you're selling your property for $600,000. That's what you determined what the market value was. And you find a buyer, you get an accepted contract on it, and their lender orders the appraisal, which usually takes a couple weeks, and they finally come out and let's say that it appraised for $590. So there's a $10,000 gap of that appraisal. So it came in low. So that's what you want to be concerned of. If it came in high, usually that doesn't make a difference. Buyer's happy, woohoo. You guys keep moving. Or if it comes, what I've seen on a lot is, it comes in right at the value of the contract, if you have it priced right. And of course, appraisers do take into consideration of the market, the temperature, and buyer demand. So if prices are increasing, they can pay attention to that. But the appraiser is hired by the lender as a third party, that's has no interest in the transaction, and they are supposed to be neutral and give an honest opinion on that price. And they use data. Usually what it is, it's a sale comparable method that they use, which is similar to what a real estate agent would do. But you look back in the last 3 to 6 months, probably this type of market where things are changing fast, it's probably best 3 months if they can find it. Properties that have actually sold that are comparable to yours. So key point number 1 is, is the offer realistic? And so this comes down to when you're reviewing your offers. Hopefully you have multiple offers. That's a good position to be in, but it can be stressful because you want to pick the right one, not waste time, but you want to net the most amount of money and get to the settlement table as quickly as possible, right? You need to do your homework. And even if you're selling the property yourself or with a licensed agent, you want to look at your comparables, what have sold, just like what an appraiser will do. You also want to see what's active out there, what your competition is. And it doesn't hurt to actually get out there, and if there's some open houses going on, or you can actually have your agent set up a preview where you can go look at these properties and see how yours compare. And look at other things too, the location, the condition, and what a market value, most likely sales price would be. Then once you see that, when you get down to it and you have, let's say, 5 offers on the table, what happens sometimes is you may have a buyer knowing that there's multiple offer scenario, and they'll offer something, let's say something crazy like $50,000 above your listing price, and in their mind, they have a contingent, for the appraisal sort of thing. Whatever, I'll just offer that to try to win the bid. And of course, when the appraisal comes back, if it's lower, I'll ask the seller to match that appraisal price, and I got the property. When you're looking at these, you want to kind of take a look at that and ask yourself, is it realistic? So go over with your real estate professional or the research that you did if you're selling it yourself, and you want to pay attention to that, because you could, even though it looks attractive, you could, once the deal moves forward, you could waste more time, more energy, stress, and all that, and eventually money too, because there's other buyers, after all that whole debacle and a couple of weeks being tied up, you may try to go back to some of the other buyers and they've already moved on to another property. So key number 2 is you can ask the buyer to waive the appraisal contingency. So, and this would be before you actually choose an offer. But let's say you're in that multiple offer scenario and they're all pretty close. And of course you have one that everything looks good, all the terms, maybe, still doing a home inspection, or maybe they waive that, and their offer price is, let's say, like $10,000 above your list price. Again, you'll look back at your research and say, hey, would this be possible to appraise? Maybe, maybe not. But it's not that much of a difference, and you can ask the buyer to waive their appraisal contingency and come to the table with that difference if that happens. And if they say yes, hey, it gets you a higher selling price. The other thing that you want to do is just make sure that you get proof of funds, to show that, hey, they are getting a loan, they're putting 20% down, plus another 2 or 3% of closing costs, which is money that they'll have to put down as well. But then you got that extra $10,000. Do they have the cash to do that? So key number 3 is something that I've ran across before. But let's say that you've already committed and you chose that offer. Appraisal comes back and it comes in low, like super, super low. But there was one that I had where there was a couple mistakes on addresses and actually on the sales pricing on it. You can ask the buyer to challenge that, so you guys can actually challenge it. It does take time, but there are examples of where that actual number has been changed or adjusted if it's that much of a mistake. So I hope that helped. If it has, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, so show the love if you can. And of course, leave a comment down below too if you have any questions on anything that I talked about here, or you think that I left something out. And of course, my contact information is going to be down below. If I can help you out for any reason, reach out. And until next time, I'll see you on the next one.